aspirin. I told people, if somebody to take aspirin, I will do this.
get here, I'm just going to call her, and then you just say, due to some circumstances, she is going to be here sometime today, but we'll not get to hear from her. If you don't want to read this, you don't have to do that. Whatever you want. Okay. He's going to do that. I don't know if she's coming. Does he need to be a little bit louder? Yeah, okay. And you can read it. Will, can you come up, please? Bob already told me he said something over there. Right. He did tell me he said something. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please take your seats. The meeting's about to come to order. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the privilege to be here this morning, Bloomfield Memorial Post Honor Guard of the 7th District, to present the colors. Please rise, honor our country. Bloomfield Honor Guard, please post the colors.
Color guard, all in. Harry, colors. Add a half step. Oh, third.
One.
Color guard, open. Oh, third. Face. Post. Colors. Raise that. Arms. Or third. Arms. Idle. Those ranks.
Two. Color guard, well done. You may retire to the color guard position. Please uncover with me as our department chaplain, Norris Kern, leads us in invocation. Reverend Kern.
Good Shabbat. Let us be in an attitude of prayer. Eternal and gracious God, we're grateful to be gathered here on this day as we stand on the threshold of Holy Week and the threshold of Passover, great times of religious pilgrimage and thought and seeking of your holy presence. We ask you to be with us in this conference. We thank you for our association in the Legion family. We thank you for the great United States of America. We thank you for our great state of Indiana. We thank you for our commander and for all those in the auxiliary, the Sons, and the American Legion that work together to make this one of the finest organizations to belong to. As we gather this morning, we are mindful of the brave young men and young women in uniform across the globe, especially those who serve in harm's way, and we're mindful of their families that keep the home fires going. Watch over, protect them, and care for them. And we also are mindful of the prisoners of war, missing in action, and our Gold Star families. We thank you for those who have made ultimate sacrifices for freedom for us and the generations to come. Now bless us. May we give you glory, for you are divine and wonderful, and we praise you. In your holy name we ask and pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Kern. The empty chair to our left, your right, stands as a symbol of the remembrance of the thousands of Americans still missing and unaccounted for from the wars which we have comrades served as POWs, MIAs. Accordingly, at this time, I'd like to ask Southern Vice Commander Milton Howard and Rich Brown to come forward to place the POW flag on the empty chair. Vice Commanders, advance. The Vice Commanders will drape the POW-MI flag over the empty chair as a reminder to us that our nation and ourselves will spare no effort to secure the release of American prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died in defense of our liberty, and the full accounting of those still missing in action. We would now like to call the attention to the other small table. As April is the month of military child, we recognize those families living through the deployed life right now here in Indiana. Please welcome Brittany Schofield and Alan Conley and the American Legion counterparts of our children and youth programs to the lecture for a presentation of Military Child. Please recover. Yeah, please see.
Good morning. In 1986, Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger recognized the importance of military-connected children and their role in military families when he established April as the month of the military child, underscoring the important role military children play in the armed forces community. This is a time to applaud children for their daily sacrifices and the challenges they overcome. The military child's table setting, inspired by the ceremony performed at dining outs for fallen service members, honors the sacrifices and contributions of our military children.
The potted flowering plant symbolizes that they may flower and flourish where planted. The hand spade inserted in the pot recognizes that they may be transplanted to a new location, any place in the world at a moment's notice, where they become fully immersed in the culture, make new friends, and acclimate themselves to a new school. The birthday cake and unlit candles and baseball, glove, and ballet slippers represent the fact that sometimes special occasions are missed by one or both parents while serving their country. The family photo depicting a child or children with their uniformed parent or parents represents the foundation of our country's strength, families united in their commitment to national service and willing to make any sacrifice, both at home and abroad, to ensure that our flag continues to fly free. And I'd like to introduce and thank our helpers this morning. We have Adam and Jack Drake, and they are members of the SAL at Post 500, and Evelyn Henshaw, and she is a junior auxiliary member at the Post 500. Thank you.
Brittany, thank you for the wonderful presentations, and let us all remember those Hoosier military families who have to deal with similar tough situations every day in the name of freedom. Thank you so much for the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you please rise. Please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, uncovered. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Legionnaires, please remember to pause. Oh, excuse me. Please remain standing while we recite the preamble to the Constitution of the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. Legionnaires, please remember to pause as the auxiliary recites the additional clause in their preamble after the word democracy. Then conclude reciting together. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate 100% of governments, right the master of might. Please recover. Please be seated. I declare this general session of the Joint Spring Conference of the American Legion Auxiliary Department of Indiana Sons to be regularly convened. I want to remind you that the policy of the Marriott East, as well as the Indiana law, has restricted smoking in public places and areas. If you wish to smoke, you must go to the specially designated areas outside the main entrance, at least 8 feet from the entrance, and please dispose of your cigarette trash in the proper containers. Thank you for your cooperation. It's a privilege and a real personal pleasure to welcome you to the 2017 Joint Spring Conference. We have a lot to do and a full agenda this morning, so I suggest we get started. I consider it a point of personal pride to present to you our 2016-17 department and district officers. You have been working real hard this year to continue the service and the ideas of the American Legion. These folks have been helping veterans across the state of Indiana with our mission and to aid veterans, their families, and their communities. Please stand to recognize as your name is called, and the audience, please hold your applause until the end. Elected officers, Northern Vice Commander Pete Van Woolen and Nick Nikoloff. Southern Vice Commanders Milton Howard and Rich Brown. National Executive Committeeman Paul Stewart. Alternate NEC Jerry Jordan. Finance Officer Tony Riley. Sergeant at Arms Robert Brinston. Appointed officers, Judge Advocate Joseph Bumbleberg. Assistant Judge Advocate Terry Smith. Assistant Finance Officer James Tracy. Department Chaplain Norris Kern. Department Membership Chairman Herb Hoffman. Department Historian Steve DeFair. Oh, I hope I pronounced that right. Staff Officers, Department Adjutant Hugh Dagley, Assistant Adjutant Will Henry, Director of Rehab John Hickey, Assistant Rehab Director Steve Hicks, Department Communications Director John Cosby, Department Service Officers Bryce Hullett, Tony Cross, and Kathy Kennard. Let's give these all a big hand. Please take your seats. Now I have the pleasure to introduce your district commanders. First District, John Sinark. Second District, Bob Hardy. Third District, Charles Wartong. Fourth District, Tom Frederick. Fifth District, Richard King Sr. Sixth District, John Kepler. Seventh District, Gina Owens. Eighth District, Kirk Pfeiffer. Ninth District, Roger Hullegross. 10th District, Lori Bowman. And 11th District, Tim Isles. Let's give them all a hand. Doing a great job. Please take your seat. And another hard-working group of Legionnaires is our 4 commission chairmen. Please stand as I introduce you. Americanism, Rodney Strong. Children and Youth, Alan Conley. Internal Affairs, Mark Gillian. And Rehabilitation, Jim Dobby. Let's give them a big hand. Thanks to you all. Let's take a moment to recognize our past and current national organization leaders. Leading the way is past National Commander Jim Couch. Past National Vice Commander and our current National Internal Affairs Commission Chairman Robert Newman. Past National Treasurer Weber LaGrange. Past National Chaplain and continue his service today, Department of Indiana, Norris Kern. Past National Sergeant at Arms, Al Polito, and past National Historian, Jim Holmes. Let's give them all a hand. I'd like to also just take a minute to introduce the men whose leadership has guided us through the years, our past department commanders. Gentlemen, if you'll present, please stand and be recognized. Robert C. Ayers, Melvin Napier, Al Werner, Larry Bartlett, Donald Kahn, Jim Couch, Terry Smith, Tom Henderson, John Mahowski, James Delaney, Thomas Somerville, Ralph Tolan, Robert Newman, Richard Jewell, Ed Trice, Kenny Helton, and Larry Lowry. Let's give them a big applause. These guys have led us through the years, and they've got us to where we're at right now through their great leadership. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome the hardworking Department Adjutant to the lecture. He has a few announcements, and I encourage you to please pay close attention. Thank you, Hugh. Give me a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Commander. Thank you. I don't have a lot of announcements, but I do have a couple of folks I want to Gillian, I'm telling you, there's a payback. There really is, because I get a second shot at this lectern later. You've just punished this whole crowd. All right, the first thing you need to know if you're a member of the SAL is it's going to take a few minutes to reset this room after we're done, so your meeting may take a few minutes to get started. Your headquarters staff has been extremely busy and aggressive in the last couple of months in the area of legislation and contemporary electronics communication, which in my judgment is the key to the future for this organization. It conforms to something I believe very strongly, and that is that the future of the American Legion is going to be determined by two factors: relevance and reputation. What John Crosby and Will Henry have been doing has struck at the very heart of that strategy. So rather than favor you with my words of wisdom, let me ask Will to come up and talk to you about the legislative initiative and the successes that he's enjoyed in leading the legislative initiative from the staff standpoint. And then we'll ask John to come up and talk for a minute. If he makes a mistake, it's his fault. If he gets it right, it's mine. Okay? No, ready.
Thank you, Hugh. It's been, needless to say, it's been a very, very active year in the legislative session. We've had ideas come and go and things mixed together, and we're just kind of in a holding pattern at this point. By the 22nd, we should know what the budget says finally and what all passes. The priority items so far this session, we've had action on 6 of our potential 12 legislative priorities in some form or another with lawmakers. So far 50% is not too bad on our legislative priorities list to at least get some sort of recognition or have the lawmakers engage the topics with us. And some of those action priority items right now, expand the veterans treatment courts. These are what have been actioned, and they're active right now in the legislature. Expand veterans treatment courts, driver's licenses for veterans tracking, Support homeless veteran programs, specifically the stateside homeless veteran programs. Those National Guard and reservists who haven't served 180 days of active duty are not considered veterans, so they don't qualify for the federal homeless benefits. So we were trying to get a supplement going here in the state to help those folks out. Support medical cannabis research, which after the resolution passed last conference, put us into the forefront for that initiative. Increase funding to the veteran service organizations. We'll look into detail on expanding veteran treatment courts. Currently in the draft budget, there's $1 million per year allocated for the veterans treatment courts, and I've been told that there's also a push for $250,000 specifically just for Marion County as well in that budget. Driver's licenses and veterans tracking, that's Senate Bill 382. Senator Kreider authored that bill. It passed the Senate and the House. Senate concurred with the amendments of the House, and soon it should go to the governor's desk for signature. Support homeless veterans program. Currently in the draft budget, it allocates $500,000 per year. Those grants are to be issued from IDVA based on the policy decided by the Veterans Affairs Commission. And again, that serves the reserve component. Support medical cannabis research. Senate Bill 15 had passed the Senate and the House. Make CBD oil registry to provide that material for epileptic folks for treating seizures when other conventional medication has failed. Senate Bill 15, it's a toe in the water bill. The state is basically, it's a registry to see how many doctors and nurses are interested in using this type of method as a treatment. The recent news of the endeavor here in Indiana has drawn huge amounts of people to our website with positive feedback, and John can give you more info on that. We've received more traffic on our website in the last week than the entire history of the website. And I know it says nearly 140,000 on the screen there, but I believe it's more upwards toward 150,000 at this point in the last week who have visited our IndianaLegion.org site regarding that specific topic. And I've seen nothing negative about it either on the site. Increase funding to the veteran service organizations. The amount allocated before was $110,000 a year. Our department was not listed on that list to receive any because of our Tennessee and the 777 North Meridian building, which has changed. The VSOs are currently allocated $910,000 in the budget at this time. Currently listed organizations are on the top: American Legion, Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Foreign Wars. AMVETS receiving $200,000. In the bill right now, AMVETS says $100,000, but if you do the math, it doesn't really add up. So the in-conference committee, that'll be changed for the AMVETS organization, and $100,000 for the Vietnam Veterans of America. And these are dollars from the state as supplemental for what we do for veterans through our service office, providing service claim work, working to get benefits and things like that for our veterans and their spouses. Other notable budget items right now, one-time budget allocation, $500,000 for hyperbaric oxygen therapy research, grants to be issued from IDVA based on the policy decided by the Indiana Veterans Affairs Commission. Other notable one-time budget allocation, $5 million to begin to remediate and repair the 777 North Meridian building. The idea from IDVA, they want to make it a central veterans hub, have veteran service organizations represented inside of the building, and have a one-stop shop for everything that a veteran would need to walk into that building and come out with everything taken care of, or at least know where they need to go next. One-time budget allocation for the USS Indiana Commissioning Committee for $250,000 right now. One-time budget allocation for the Welcome Home Vietnam veterans. that's for the booklet for those folks. And any of these could still change because we don't know what the conference committee is going to do, what they're going to come out. And of course, we're very hopeful. After this budget came out, needless to say, the veterans organizations were very happy with the way that things went down with the lottery ticket combined and then subsequently dying in committee once it reached the House. This can only, we were just really, really excited by everything we saw in that budget, and we're very, very hopeful come the 22nd when everything is finally decided that everything will still be included. Any questions you have will be in Salon C right after this meeting, in the Legislative Committee meeting. I'll answer questions in there if you've got any. So, that's all I have. Thank you.
Will and John are going to trade places because Will's got to operate the machinery back there, so our live broadcast, our webcast continues, and John is on his way up here. John's going to talk to you about a piece of software which we acquired, I'm not sure, not too long ago, because we actually used it within a day or two of us getting it loaded up on the machine, which resulted in a tremendous amount of contact directly to your legislators in the General Assembly. John Crosby is the Director of Communications.
Thank you, Hugh. Good morning. Well, so we're here to discuss a little bit about that program. It's a new piece of software that we've just integrated into the website. And basically, it's a tool that turns any of our constituents into advocates. So what does that mean? In just a few words, basically, anybody that's interested in advocating for veterans can go onto our website, use pre-drafted letters of support for things like the programs that Will was just talking about, raising money for veterans in the state of Indiana, homeless veterans, the medical marijuana resolution, any of those issues. They're pre-drafted letters on our website. You type in your information, your name, your address, and it automatically generates a list of those elected officials that are responsible for your area in the state. You go ahead and click send. It appends your name. Most recently, and this was in the news, Senator Alting, Will there in the State House fighting to get those funds. It's been a battle back and forth. And Senator Alting was quoted in the Indy Star as saying, don't get greedy, veterans, take what you can get. And that's a verbatim quote, don't get greedy, veterans. So you can imagine our reaction. He basically gave us ammunition, and we aimed to use it. And so we recently held a press conference that following Sunday after the Department Oratorical Contest. Fox affiliates and NBC affiliates picked that up. We drew attention to that issue. We drafted pre-drafted letters, put those on the website, and we told our folks, hey, let them know that we're not greedy veterans. We're out there trying to get, secure funds for our homeless veterans, secure funds for health care, take care of our families, transition these veterans back into society. There's nothing greedy about that. Well, within, I think, the first 3 days, we had 315 letters written statewide. 500 to this date, and that's in the last 30 days that we've we've initiated that software. So that software is available to you guys. We'll continue to spread the word as issues arise. We can go on and advocate for veterans on there. As Will said, 140,000 people in this last week alone have come to our website. And what it's done is it's opened a forum of discussion. If you go to the website under the news section, you can see specifically the medical marijuana resolution that was passed at the Midwinter Conference. It's opened up a forum of discussion. A majority of these folks aren't even members, but they're on our website and they're talking about this relevant issue. And so at the end of the day, that makes us relevant. 140,000 strong. I thought it was a mistake. I woke up Monday morning, I think it said 90,000, and I ran into Hugh's office because I had something to brag about, and that was, it's a good feeling. So I think we're more relevant than ever. We're communicating in ways we haven't before, and we're creating more opportunities for our advocates to advocate. So thank you.
The unfortunate thing about having Will and John up here is that I know you all thought that I was just a pretty face, but now look what you've got. Yeah, you really got a couple of pretty faces to focus on. But the bonus is they're working really hard on your behalf. The $200,000 that's going to make its way to the Department of Indiana from through the Indiana General Assembly will be by legislation earmarked for claims assistance. In other words, every penny that is provided to us by the state of Indiana must be used in our service office. Is that significant to you? It sure as heck is, because fully 1/2, if not more, of our operating budget is devoted to the operation of the Department Service Office. That is no small chunk of change, believe me. The department operation and budget is relatively huge, but we are committed to our core obligation. Our core mission is service to veterans, and that's what the Department Service Office does. So the one thing that John didn't mention, and I hope that if you get a chance to talk to him later, you ask him about it. John is producing an automated digital newsletter. That automated digital newsletter goes right now to 34,000 people. These 34,000 people have all given us their email address. As a consequence of that, whenever there is a legislative initiative or a call or a piece of information that is necessary for you to do what you do in your communities, John flashes that out to all 34,000 people. I would encourage you to let us know what your email address is if you haven't done that, and let us get you on that list. We won't be trying to sell you anything. We won't be trying we won't be selling your email address to anybody. We'll use it on the digital newsletter. But it's going to be easier in the future, I believe, because the national organization has redesigned the membership card for members of the American Legion and the SAL, allowing for them to report their email address on those cards. That's scanned into the data system. We get a download every Thursday morning from the national organization updating our membership records. So those people who in 2018 renew and include their email address, we'll pick that up on the automated download. Okay, the only other thing I would like to say before I stop temporarily is to introduce Mike Ayers. Mike is a past department adjutant, long time ago, previous century mostly, I believe. So he's a little long in the tooth, but he's still involved. So Mike is going to talk to us briefly about the Legionnaires Insurance Trust, which in the last 2 years, has been expanded to include opportunities for members of the auxiliary as well. So Mike, if you would.
You were very nicely done. Thank you. A little makeup and hair. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Hugh and Commander, ladies of the auxiliary, members of the SAL, Legionnaires and guests. Thank you. Thank you for including the LIT, the Legion Insurance Trust, in your annual spring conference. As most of you know, the trust was formed in 1965 for the sole purpose of providing funding for departments for use with veterans programs, as Hugh just talked about with rehab, and also youth activities. Since that time, we have awarded, because of your efforts, to departments across the country $70 million. Now, Indiana has done very well. You came into the program in 1991. I remember that specifically because that was my first year as department adjutant. That year, you earned about $11,000. Since that time, you've done very well. Last year in April, Hugh and I attended the annual Legion Trust Directors meeting. Hugh came home with a check of about $180,000. Now, here's where you owe yourselves a round of applause. In the last 27 years, because of your efforts in purchasing cancer, MedSup, and others, Indiana has received $3,031,111. And you're to be applauded for that. You're now a member of the prestigious $3 million club, which only very few departments are. Now, having said that, only about 17,000 of our members belong to the AD&D program. We're out here today to sign you up. That's about 22% compared with 16% of the members in Kentucky, 26% in Tennessee. And we do pay the claims. In 2014, we paid 5 claims. 2015, 5 claims. And Hugh and I will receive the new statistics in about 2 weeks when we attend the trust directors meeting, where he'll be picking up another sizable check. So we encourage you to sign up. As you recall, if something tragic happens to you leaving a non-Legion event, your beneficiary receives $1,000. If you're attending a Legion event, such as you're an umpire at a Legion baseball game, post-meeting, heaven forbid a conference, $5,000. So we do pay. I'm pleased to announce that the SAL is now eligible for the accidental death, as are the members of the auxiliary. The auxiliary also is involved in a couple of other programs, which are revenue enhancement based. So I have a number of these postcards on the table out of the exhibit. I also have 2 iPads where we can sign you up right away. It takes about a minute and a half for the AD&D program. In May, the departments will receive a substantial number of these brochures, which are able to be folded and placed in envelopes, because I have a number of post agents around the country who come to me wherever I visit and say, Mike, boy, we love to mail these. We stay after the guys, but we have to have it in proper form. So we've tried to do that for you. We also have some other giveaways of luggage tags and phone pads for those of you who like to use your phone in the car. And we have a number of other things going on too, which we'll tell you about later on. Commander Hugh, I want to conclude. When I travel, I'm often asked, what is the definition of a Hoosier? Now, I know some of you have definitions of what a Hoosier is. Many of those we cannot use today because of the young people in the audience. So an old guy told me recently, he said, Mike, a Hoosier is someone who thinks the state bird is Larry. Larry Bird. I can see that a number of you are not into Hoosierisms. So I will conclude by thanking you for including the LIT in your annual spring conference. Have a great conference.
Mike had an opportunity to leave the mic, and he let that pass and told a joke instead. That was a mistake, Mike. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you right now. As part of the promotion and publicity initiative that John has initiated is a cooperative venture with the Indianapolis Indians. There will be some in-game announcements during the game. There will be 30-second commercials being produced for some broadcast outlets. We'll have interviews with the announcer during the 7th inning stretch and things like that. We also received 20, were those season tickets or are they just one game tickets?
One game box seats.
Single game box seat tickets. We got 20 of those to give away, and we're going to give 2 of them away right now. We're going to give a pair of those tickets away right now. Where's the photographer? I want you to get ready for this, because those 2 tickets are somewhere in this room taped to the bottom of a chair. So let's all put our rears in the air and start looking for tickets. This is not a pretty sight. You should see it from where I am. You don't get to keep the chair, by the way. Put it down. Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner. The rest of you can sit down. There we go.
With that, thank you, Hugh, Mike. We look forward to you supporting the LIT program in the future. I also want to add to that that the insurance is good. They definitely have a good cancer policy. I've called Mike at my post alone 3 times. We had a gentleman, he waited till the end of the course when he turned it in. Mike got right on it, and he had a check for $11,000 towards his bills. So it's a good program. Look into it. All the insurances are. If you travel, one thing, if you travel going to the convention, it's well worth it every year to take $99 that medical flight insurance. We've had members in the past take it, and when you got to have a medical ambulance to bring you back to Indiana, that's thousands of dollars. But you have a nurse, you have the plane, they make sure your vehicle gets back, and we have had Legionnaires in this room that took advantage of it. So look at their programs because they are good and they are reasonable. Moving on, at this time I'd like to call Southern Vice Rich Brown to the lecture for a purpose of special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Commander. We change lives is the slogan of the American Legion Department of Indiana. But for this next presentation, the words "we save lives" may be the better fit. These next four ladies did exactly that, drawing on their recent Red Cross CPR AED lifesaver training provided by the American Legion. When I call your names, please join Department Commander May on the lower stage. Loretta Kelly, Teresa Stout, Rose Mason, and Tiffany Mason. When Shout to Man Down rang out and the country music stopped, 3 of the Bloomington Post 18 American Legion's serving staff and a member of the band stepped forward to save a life. Of the 4 women to attend to the fallen man, 3 are related. Tiffany Mason, her mother, Loretta Kelly, and Tiffany's grandmother, Rose Mason, each called upon their varying levels of medical experience to attend to the Legionnaire. Teresa Stout, another server, also assisted in what doctors would later describe as life-saving measures. Tiffany Mason had turned away from the Indiana University men's basketball game on a television February 9th to see a longtime Legion member on the floor of the Burton Woolery Post 18. Just 30 minutes before, the man had sung a song with Mason-Dixie, the Legion's Thursday night jam band. Tiffany Mason said he'd been dancing when he had had a heart attack. After checking the man's pulse, Tiffany Mason ripped off his coat and started the first of 3 rounds of compressions, while her grandmother, the lead singer for Mason-Dixie, performed the respirations. In addition to Tiffany Mason's experience at local hospitals and on the health services staff for the Monroe County Community School Corporation, Kelly and Stout used their training in CPR and AED use from the Red Cross, something the American Legion provided to about 12 staffers last summer, to revive the man with just 1 shock. Because of their quick reactions, the man survived. He underwent 5 bypass surgeries after being transported to the hospital. If it wasn't for these ladies standing here before you today, the man would not be with us today. The award reads, in recognition of your extraordinary response to an emergency situation, your calm professional reaction and application of knowledge and expertise of life-saving measures directly contributed to the saving of a life while working to support the American Legion mission at Burton Woolery Post 18, Bloomington, Indiana. Your performance under pressure reflects great credit upon yourself, Post 18, and the American Legion Department of Indiana. Thank you, ladies, for your quick reaction and your calm composure under pressure. We are proud to call you members of our American Legion family.
Thanks, Rich. Our American Legion volunteers, especially those who are involved in the program, are encouraged to take this CPR AED Red Cross Certified Life Saving course provided by the Legion and the Department of Indiana and the American Red Cross. Whatever better way to introduce the next guest. Our next guest speaker is a Post 18 member who comes to us from an organization that has been very close with the American Legion since its existence. The American Red Cross has long been a supporter and conduit for the family information to and from our deployed active duty troops serving throughout the world. When disaster strikes our communities, the American Red Cross and its volunteers step up and support those in need. They do so much, and we have so much in common. We look forward to hearing from what their organization has to say today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Regional Service to the Armed Forces Manager, Tom Triplett. Tom.
Good morning. I'm Tom Triplett. I am the Regional Service Armed Forces Manager for the American Red Cross. I have a table outside this room. I'm going to be here all day. I encourage you to come by, talk to me about our Service Armed Forces programs. If you have an immediate family member currently serving in our armed forces, I really encourage you to come by and talk to me. We've had so many great changes in our Hero Care Network and emergency communications process. So if you have a family member serving, please take the opportunity to come by and let's chat. The American Red Cross and American Legion of Indiana have a long history of working together. And we had Butch and John to our headquarters here in the city a couple months ago to talk about ways to deepen our relationship. We have a natural synergy in our Service Armed Forces programs, but with our motto of changing lives in the American Legion and American Red Cross of saving lives and building resilient communities, I'm really here to introduce Mr. Britton Riley from our Disaster Cycle Services to talk about a great program we have and opportunities for us to deepen our relationship. And we really appreciate the invite and the opportunity to speak today. Braden?
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As Tom said, my name is Britton Riley. I work with the American Red Cross. And two of the programs that I run for the state, one is called the Pillowcase Project, which is a youth preparedness program that we do based off of children who were evacuating Katrina. They put their belongings in pillowcases. We turn that into a preparedness initiative with Disney, where we go into schools and teach children in grades 3 through 5 what should be in a preparedness kit. What they end up doing is get that information inside of a pillowcase where they are prompted to take that information home and share that with their family to make sure that they have a preparedness kit at home and that they're prepared. But the program that I'm going to talk to you about today is our Home Fire campaign. If I can get the next slide, please. First, I wanted to start with the mission of the American Red Cross, which is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. And I'll tell you how we do that with our Home Fire campaign. So the Home Fire campaign started back in 2014. It is an initiative to reduce the number of deaths and injuries in home fires by 25% over a 5-year time frame. The way that we are doing that is by installing free smoke alarms in homes. So we are identifying high-risk areas throughout our state. We are partnering with fire departments, with other service organizations to go out into these communities, canvassing door to door to ask folks if they have working smoke alarms. So why is this campaign important? Well, next slide, please. 7 times a day, someone dies in a home fire. Okay? Every 40 minutes, a fire injury is reported. So just in the length of time that we've been here this morning, a fire injury will have been reported. And home fires, on average, 2,500 deaths a year and $7 billion in property damage. This slide is really interesting to me as well. It's a concept that is called risk versus outrage. So if you look at this, you have incidents like Hurricane Sandy, large media incidents, a lot of publicity, and the number of lives that were lost, very low there. 2011 tornadoes, that would include Joplin, and the number of lives that were lost in that incident, or even Hurricane Katrina in 2005 did not mount the number of deaths that occurred in 2012 just from home fires. Having a working smoke alarm can reduce your chances of dying in a home fire by 50%. So we know that having that working smoke alarm truly can save a life. Next slide, please. So what is our goal? I alluded to that a little while ago, but as I said earlier, it's to reduce the number of deaths and injuries by 25% over a 5-year time frame. And there are 3 objectives that we're going to do that with. One, of course, saving lives, building more resilient communities by partnering together. And how will we achieve it? Next slide, please. So it's with a network of partners, as I mentioned to you earlier. This is not just the American Red Cross and our volunteers coming into a community to try to do this. We are partnering with those non-governmental organizations, other partner organizations that we can to really get into those communities and make the best impact that we can. So how can we work together? Firstly, in your own home and neighborhood. So when you all get home today, make sure that you're testing your smoke alarms. A lot of people don't realize that smoke alarms have about a 10-year lifespan. So you may be pressing the button, which demonstrates that the smoke alarm can make a sound, but that smoke alarm may not be sensing as well as it should. Every smoke alarm should have a date on it as far as when it was installed or when it was first manufactured. So if that's been more than 10 years, that smoke alarm most likely needs to be replaced. You can reach out to the American Red Cross. We will have volunteers that will come right out to you and install those smoke alarms in your home. Next slide, please. Join your Indiana Region Community Home Fire Preparedness Coalition. So we are doing events like this pretty much every week throughout the state. So if you, wherever you are, find your local American Red Cross office, stop in, let them know that you're interested in this campaign, and we would love to get you plugged in. Next slide, please. Sound the Alarm, Save a Life campaign. This is one that we're really looking forward to potentially engaging you all with. And this is going to be a nationwide campaign running from September the 30th for 2 weeks. And that will be across the nation. We plan to install our millionth smoke alarm during that time. And finally, our results. So 197 lives have been saved across the nation since we started this campaign. This slide says 10 lives saved in Indiana, but I'm actually happy to report that we just verified another life saved in Lebanon, Indiana, that just occurred a few weeks ago. So, like I said before, we know this campaign works, and we're so excited to partner with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom, and your guests for being here today. We look forward to our continued partnership with you. On one note of that, we are considering in the DEC. Okay, I guess the mic was on. I didn't know that. I'm sure you could hear me. Anyway, our DEC is bringing there's a resolution before it that we get, and we partner with the Red Cross on some of their things, trainings, especially since they do have a veterans assistant manager in there, and they do quite a bit. And I encourage all your posts to do one thing. The department, I'm sure it's going to be in Marty's year, we put on a couple of these CPR, AD things for different districts and that. But if you'll contact either your local or go to the table and contact Tom, I'm sure that they could set up, it's no cost thing, come to your post and do these, because that does save lives. And as you say, that matters. And also, I encourage every post to definitely get a defibrillator in it and save it. We've had ours for 7 years, and that's the best investment that we did. So I want to thank you guys again for being here, and we'll move on. Our annual of the year awards can have a big impact on our communities. As Legionnaires, it's our duty to honor these local heroes. These are our local law enforcement, firefighters, emergency medical services, and educators who impact the communities around every district in the state. We encourage every post and district to take an interest in these hometown heroes and nominate them for their selflessness, service, and gratitude to them. It's just one more way we can say thank you. Check this video out of a recent EMS of the Year winner at Boonville Post 200 covered by Channel 44 in Evansville. Please play
Spent more
the
than
video.
2 decades saving lives and training the next generation to do the same. David Fitzsimmons is being honored as St. Mary's Warwick EMS Person of the Year. There was a celebration earlier this evening. 44 News reporter Jeff Goldberg was there and caught up with the honoree. He has more. Jeff.
Heather, those who knew Fitzsimmons call him a patient and a man who knows it all. He was awarded tonight for a lifetime of service.
I think I outlived everybody.
With an ever-present smile on his face and a wealth of knowledge in his brain, David Fitzsimmons is honored as the St. Mary's Boonville EMS Person of the Year. Those qualities, along with years of mentoring and training generations of paramedics, set him apart from the field.
Really took time with me to walk me through the protocols and how ambulance operations work. So was a great help.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Fitzsimmons, who also teaches at Ivy Tech, has learned a lot in his 25 years of service. Life lessons he hopes to impart to the students he works with.
I start from day one and I try to explain to everybody that, you know, you can't make this your 24-hour-a-day life. You have to have other lives. You have to do community service. You have to do other things that so you don't get burnt out. That's how you managed to last 25 years.
His teaching, along with an unparalleled work ethic, definitely garnered the attention of his co-workers. They said they could not think of someone more deserving.
Dave is one of our key employees here, and he's been a part of many of our committees here on how the service runs, and very well deserving for Dave, that's for sure.
In his 25 years saving lives, David has only missed one day of work. He'll be up for the statewide EMS Person of the Year in June. Jeff Goldberg, 44 News.
Jeff,
Thank you. We encourage all of you, our members, to visit IndianaLegion.org to find out more of the Legion of the Year or of the Year package, and recognize your local hometown heroes in all these categories. All district winners and department winners will be recognized here during the department convention. So I encourage you to participate in it. Let's get 11 winners in all categories. And now let's focus our attention on the young people who represent the future of our state. Another program we have a great success with the past 5 years is our Legion Day at Lucas Oil Stadium. Our Hoosier Legionnaires present the football-sized flag every fall at the Indianapolis Colts pregame ceremonies. Last year, we had a record attendance of more than 300 Legionnaires and their families on the field. This year, we want to break that record and fill every handle that's on that flag, 400 of them. And break that record. Hoosier Legionnaire family members proudly presenting our nation's colors. Check out last year's flag presentation on this video provided to us by the Indianapolis Colts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the field as the American Legion Department of Indiana, representing more than 90,000 men and women who have worn the uniforms of our nation's military, present the American flag. Presenting the colors today are members of the Joint Service Color Guard. The Joint Service Color Guard is composed of all branches of the United States military. And now, to honor America, please rise, remove your hats, and welcome the winner of Season 6 of the hit NBC reality series The Voice, and Indianapolis' own Josh Kaufman, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam? streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glove, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Registration will be open to purchase tickets online and reserve your seat for presenting this nation's colors at the Indianapolis Colts fall game. Registration will be available this month at the department website, indiana.org, so continue to monitor this site, and thank you for your participation in this. Over the last century, there's only been one place known world over that holds a great history and prestige regarding motorsports. It is located right here in Indianapolis. Over the next couple months, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway will spring back into life and thrill spectators one more time again for the racing season. Here today with us from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Director of Event Operation, Kirk Dooley, with a special announcement on a volunteer opportunity for you to get involved. Mr. Dooley.
All right, well, good morning, and thank you very much. Let me first say that it's an honor to be presenting this group right here. I am recently retired from the Marine Corps after 24 years, so just get I survived. So, what's that? Well, I've got one. I've got one at post 145, but the reality, I'm embarrassed to say, is I have not had a lot of time to commit. Moving back to Indiana, I was fortunate enough to land a job at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that's a big part of what I'm here to talk about today. Next slide, please. See, the big thing is that the track has had a history of partnering with nonprofit organizations. And in my role as Director of Operations, I'm proud to offer the opportunity to the American Legion to do the same thing. Go ahead, next slide. See, we have a lot of challenges out at the Speedway. For our large events, across 988 acres, we require nearly 2,500 folks to help conduct our event operations out there. The key thing is that this is an opportunity for the Legion, by the Legion, to get involved. And I think the ability to raise big money very quickly is very solid. It's an opportunity that we are able to otherwise give back to give back to nonprofit organizations rather than vector our staffing money to, like say, staffing agencies. So we're able to give back a lot of good. The compensation packages are focused on $91 per person per day. And if you do the math out with a little bit of bonus for large groups, a small group of about 105 people would equal $10,000. Next slide, please. The kind of duties that we focus our nonprofits into conducting are primarily in the grandstands and our viewing mounds, which is your basic ushering. You're dealing with the fans, getting them to their seats, helping check their tickets. The next place that we tend to put folks is at gates, just otherwise greeting guests as they come through there and scanning or checking their tickets. In every case, you're going to be integrated with supervisors, with full-time personnel that otherwise operate those gates. You got any yellow shirts out here? All right. Well, hey, thank you for supporting us out there, and help me pass the word for this opportunity, because you know that nonprofits are a big part of helping put on these events. Go ahead and go to the next slide. The mechanics and the logistics on this are easy. All you have to do is assemble, carpool, and show up in the north end on the morning of race day. We'll get you checked in, we'll put wristbands on you, and then we'll get you integrated into your posts with supervisors and the rest of the group. Large groups, we'll keep you as close together as we can. We'll at least keep you with clusters between the gates and the stands. And otherwise, it's a good day to get out and get involved. You get a free T-shirt that you'll be able to keep. And other than that, it's very simple. When I consider the, learning more about fundraising opportunities, this just seems very turnkey. All you have to do is show up. There's no logistics, there's no bake sales, there's no cooking, there's no organization. Just be there. Next slide. So again, wanting to keep this brief, my hope is to have a call to arms for this unique, organization for a unique opportunity to raise some big money. It's a great place to do this. I think it's a lot of fun to be out there. An iconic organization, an iconic venue to be sure. And I put the sunrise there because it's a very interesting place to be out there at sunrise when it's quiet and calm and you're just waiting for the fans to start to show up. So in terms of mobilizing across this entire group right here, just the far left wings, or less than that, would be 100 people. To do that for one day is 10 grand. I've got 5 days of opportunities, and I need hundreds of nonprofits to come out there. I mean, I could easily see that in May alone, $50,000 could be generated for just out enjoying a day at the races. It's a long day, I get that, but again, dealing with fans and just being part of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway seems like a great place to do a lot of good with that money. So at this time, do I have any real questions? I know that John's going to help put the word out by social media and other technical means, and otherwise, don't hesitate to contact me at any point.
Got one in the back there.
Okay, yes, sir.
Do you do both races or just Indianapolis 500?
Well, let me say this. Let me request your sense of urgency. The Grand Prix is on May 13th on a Saturday. I have a lot of spots I need to fill, and if I can't fill it, I need to go out and buy it with staffing agencies, and that's not doing any organization any good. You know, the idea of the good that could be done with this group right here, I think is phenomenal, particularly just being a veteran. So I've got hundreds of spaces available on the 13th. I've got them over Qualls weekend, Carb Day, well, race weekend, which is Carb Day, Legends Day, and the 500 itself. On the 500, I need 1,000 nonprofit folks. I'll say, yes, ma'am. It's a long day typically. Race day is a longer one. When I say race day, the 500, because the streets shut down. If anybody's been involved out there, they know that you can hardly even get there. So we'll get you there early, but we'll take care of you. We'll get you breaks. We'll keep you hydrated and everything like that. But it tends to be a long day. But yes, 6 a.m. is a standard one, except for the 500, and that's going to be a little bit earlier than that. It's about an hour and a half before public gates, and that's really about 6:30. What else can we answer here today? Yes, ma'am. We do. So we have the Brickyard for a day or two, and another one that's coming up later, although it's not the alligator closest to my boat at the moment, is the Red Bull Air Race out in October. Another interesting time to get some volunteers out here. I'll also point out that this applies to auxiliary, of course, to family members. We try to focus on 18 years and older for volunteers, but with chaperones, we make an exception and a waiver of that 3 minors, 16 to 18, with a parent or a chaperone can also could work this. So again, mobilizing families that come out, I think is an easy sell, I hope. Any other questions? So again, as this word gets passed out there across the region, certainly within driving distance, please pass the word to your folks to try to generate some interest. Again, I think to surge some money forward on this, as well as helping plant the seed on a partnership that this organization might represent with the Speedway, I think is a phenomenal thing to do. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity to present.
Thank you for being here today, Kirk. We look forward to this opportunity and challenge all members, auxiliaries, and some to step up and volunteer your time to benefit our veterans and their families to finish out, hopefully, IVET fundraising for the year in a huge way. I know everyone doesn't have the money to donate, and it's the time for you to spend a little time volunteering as a good money for such a great cause. Moving on, I'm now going to call our distinguished National Executive Committeeman, Paul Stewart, for a special introduction, or announcement, really.
Thank you for your applause. At this time, I was going to introduce the leading candidate for National Commander. Her flight plans have been truly messed up. She was supposed to have arrived yesterday at 3 o'clock. Then that didn't happen. And then again last night at 11 o'clock, and that didn't happen. So alternate Jerry is on the way to the airport to pick her up. She's supposed to arrive at 10 o'clock. So once she gets here, we will try to get around to as many meetings as we can. We've got to give her a chance to rest, because I tell you, that's got to be something else to be tied up for that long a period of time in airports. The exciting thing about it is she is on track to be the American Legion's first female national commander. And this is not in the script, and since we have a few minutes that she was going to take up, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes. I would like to have all the female Legionnaires stand up so we can appreciate them. And I'm going to take it one step farther. Any parent, spouse that has a daughter serving in the military, stand up so we can thank you for their service. Thank you, Mr. Commander.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll get to see her, but I think Past National Commander and Couch and I, we know about airports, don't we, buddy? Now, at this time, it's my distinctive honor to present my partner in this leadership year, the American Legion Auxiliary President, who has some special guests to introduce and a presentation to make. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm welcome for Madam President Peggy Bishop. Peggy.
Stand up, Peggy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I am standing, okay? Thank you for inviting all of us auxiliary members here today. We always love to interact with our family, and we are a family here in Indiana. We try. So this year, our ladies are working hard with showing our pride in giving service. So I'd like to introduce my hardworking officers. I'd like to introduce my elected officers. We have our NEC, Ruth Reardon. President-elect Judy Morris. Our Vice President, Betty Slagle. Our historian is Roseanne Zikowitz. And of course, our chaplain, Jenny Mowney, is sitting up here. With us today, we also have our hardworking Department Secretary, Marty Drake. My appointed officers are my two Sergeant of Arms, Mary Edwards and Brenda Byerly. And my parliamentarian is Shirley Firkins. Is she somewhere? No, she's not here today with us. She's here, she's just not in here right now. The other person that I'm going to introduce that has been working hard this year, and Herb can tell that how hard it is to be, but my department chairman, membership chairman is Sue Fugit. Okay, I'd like to, and they're kind of sitting all over the place, so I'd like to introduce my district presidents, my daughters. First district is Annette DeFries. Second district, Peggy Egan. Third district, Rhonda Cole. And fourth district is Diana West, and I think she's way over there. Fifth district, Linda Torpy. Sixth district is Debbie Donovan. Seventh district is Rita Ellis. Eighth district is Teresa Susat. We call her Tia. Ninth district, Mary Lou Melton. 10th district is Mary Mummert. And my 11th district daughter is Linda Polson. These ladies have been working hard all year. We're doing fantastic, I think, as far as showing our pride. We've been everywhere that we can. The girls are working hard on membership. We're doing our best. We're what, 70? I haven't seen this week's report. About 71%. So it's not over yet, so we're still going there. But today I'd like to introduce to you, I do have a special guest today. Her name is Carolee Youngie. She is the Central Division Vice President, Central Division National Vice President. Carolee? Carolee is from Illinois, so she drove in yesterday and has been with us, and she will be here through today. So I'm inviting all of the auxiliary members who have not had an opportunity to come up and talk to her and say hi, welcome her, make sure she feels comfortable here in Indiana. Since she doesn't live that far away, she really doesn't. So I'm sure she will kind of tell you about her family, I hope, because of the Notre Dame part. So I'd like to introduce you to Carolee Youngie.
Madam President Peggy, NEC Ruth, Commander Jim, officers, and distinguished guests all. You are all distinguished guests because there is no rank among us. On behalf of our National President Mary Davis, I bring you greetings from the National Organization of the American Legion Auxiliary and wish you a most successful meeting. Would the national appointments that Mary has made please stand in the auxiliary? Thank you. Who we are, what we do, and why it matters. I am a grassroots member, and that is where I do the important work that the Legion family does. I come from a family that has served and continues to serve. My uncle served in World War II in the Navy, and my husband served during the Vietnam conflict in the Army and the Judge Advocate General Corps. And yes, he was a 1960 graduate of the University of Notre Dame. I love watching the Waltons, as anyone in Illinois will tell you. And I often think it is how our organization needs to conduct themselves. We need to be God-fearing, loving, nurturing, and more like the Waltons, being there for the family. Through your actions as an auxiliary member and Legion member, you as one person can show initiative and motivate others to get involved and work serving our veterans every day. In the spirit of service, not self, the American Legion Auxiliary is 750,000 members and volunteers. Step up to advance our mission of supporting the American Legion and honoring the sacrifice of those who served. Our annual volunteer worth is worth $1.9 billion. The vision of the American Legion Auxiliary is to support the American Legion while becoming a premier service organization and foundation of every community, providing support for our veterans, our military, and their families by shaping a positive future in an atmosphere of fellowship, patriotism, speech, and security. We focus on 3 areas: veterans military support and advocacy, family support, and youth development. General Doolittle said as the planes were taking off to bomb Tokyo, "There is nothing stronger than the heart of a volunteer." How true when we look at the auxiliary members as they volunteer. As a member of the American Legion Auxiliary, you'll have many hands-on opportunities to serve in ways that truly make a difference. You can educate school children about our nation's flag, assemble care packages to send to our troops, volunteer at your local VA medical center, and much more. And we are actively looking for Legion volunteers, SAL volunteers, Rider volunteers. We need all of you to be in the hospitals, the CBOCs, and the veterans' homes. There are many other things I could tell you today, but we're going to save that for this afternoon, for the ladies' session. Always remember to tell our story. Please use the media. We do not tell our story enough for everybody to know what we do. And we have tools to do that with, so please, please tell everyone what we do. The one other thing that I would like to say is this is the perfect year to support the Flag Alliance. We have an opportunity to pass this, and I would ask you to please look on the website and find out how you can additionally do that. Thank you for the warm hospitality that has been extended to me, and I enjoy hearing what the Department of Indiana is doing this year. We are an American Legion family working together for the betterment of our veterans and their family in the United States of America. Thomas Wolfe said, "America is a fabulous country, the only fabulous country. It is the only place where miracles not only happen, but where they happen all the time." I leave you with this. We are the products of members past and the vanguard of future members. It is a legacy we in this organization proudly share, treasure, and carry on. We would not be here but for those who went before, and those who look back 100 or 1,000 years from now will be equally indebted to us. For our organization cannot exist without spirit, the questing mind searching for truth, the belief in inherent worth of the individual, the awe and respect for humanity, the caring, compassionate, loving insistence that we rise to the highest level a member has to offer. Members are dreamers who do not see boundaries, only opportunities. They face adversity with the courage and grace and move beyond it. The member spirit that burned in the hearts of the founding members is aflame today in each of us. We are all committed to the mission of the American Legion family. We are the grateful beneficiaries of those who once invested in a future they would not see, but for which they had boundless hope. We share the dreams of the members who went before us. We dare to build dreams for those who are yet to come. God loves you, and so do I. May the good Lord hold you in the palm of his hand and keep you safe as you travel. God bless all of you, the American Legion family, our veterans, the military, and may God bless the most awesome country in the world, the United States of America.
It's really been a very big honor to have Carol Lee with us this weekend. She's an awesome lady. But I forgot something, and I'm going to get in trouble because I forgot a very, very special group of ladies, and I want them on my good side because next year when I'm a past department president, I want to be welcome. I did forget my past department presidents so will all of you ladies please stand up so we can thank you. Okay, I got that one out of the way. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bishop, for all that you and your ladies do for us and our nation's veterans. Thank you, Vice President Young. I also want to thank those you introduced for being here and Miss Schofield for the wonderful presentation of the military children. In addition to a strong auxiliary, we have a detachment in Indiana to SAL that is here that supports us in all our endeavors. Our sons, by the way, are nearing their all-time high this year. I know you can top this number from last year. I'm looking forward maybe tonight. Come to the dance, please. You'll see what happens. We have the privilege of having an outstanding SAL leader this year. Please join me in welcoming the 2016-17 Department SAL Commander Joe Schultes for some brief remark, introduction to his officers. Joe.
Thanks, everybody. Commander May, President Bishop, dignitaries, distinguished guests. Just quickly like to introduce my officers. I'm not going to read through everyone's name. If I could please have all the officers of the SAL detachment please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Now could I have the past detachment commanders of the SLB stand to be recognized. Now how about all the dual members out here? Please stand and be recognized. Well, just a little heads up, right now we're doing pretty good in membership. Right now, before the turn-in this weekend, we're 89.63%. We're a little bit ahead of last year. And last year was a record-setting year for us, so we're still on track for that. And Commander, I'm not sure if you've heard, but there's a little buzz going around about the SAL. Tonight, if we hit the $60,000 goal that was set out there, wait a minute. When we hit the $60,000 goal that was set out there today, it's going to be hit. You're going to be giving me more money. There's 5 of us that are going to be having our heads shaved, and Commander has allowed us to do it here in the ballroom this evening so that other people, because I know there's a lot of Legionnaires and auxiliary that would also like to be present for that. So, looking forward to it. And at this time, I would like to introduce our NECman, Mike Pfeiffer, for the purpose of introduction of our guests.
Commander May, distinguished guests, members of the Legion, members of the Auxiliary, fellow members of the Sons, good morning. Good morning. Jeff Frayne was elected National Commander of the Sons of the American Legion last August in Cincinnati. He's a 33-year member of the Sons. His eligibility is through his father's service in Korea in the United States Army and his stepfather's service in the United States Air Force in Vietnam. He is a member of Apache Junction, Arizona, Squadron 27. Jeff and his wife, Patty, have been married for 26 happy years. Their 2 children and their 3 grandchildren are all members of the American Legion family. Jeff is employed as a journeyman mold maker, and when he's not working hard or doing traveling and being out on the road, he spends his time promoting and raising money for American Legion charities. He also does a little hunting, a little fishing, and some would say some golfing. Jeff's theme for this year is Knowledge is Power. His membership theme is Be a Superhero and sign up 3 American Heroes. His 2 main programs for fundraising this year are the Child Welfare Foundation and American Legion Baseball. would you please give a warm Hoosier welcome to and be very nice to him? When we got in here at 8 o'clock this morning, it was 5 o'clock his time, and he'd already been up a couple of hours, so do the math. Please welcome National American Legion, Sons of American Legion Commander Jeff Frayne.
Good morning. And I do mean it's morning. At 4 o'clock this morning when I woke up, I said, oh, here we go again. But it's well worth it to come and address you. Like I say, a lot of us, we come out here for our NEC meetings and we don't really get to see the Indiana American Legion family. That's why I like coming here to address you. I get to see the whole family. So on behalf of 366,000 SAL members and growing, thank you for having me come up here and address you. We are a family, and I'm looking at all the pretty ladies right here, all the sons over there, and the dual members. Joe took the thunder away when I normally try to ask for the dual members to stand up, and when you guys all stood up, I'm just like, holy cow. We like our dual members because they, like us, honor that veteran and their family. That's why we're here. We were created in 1932 to carry on the American Legion programs and to carry on everything the American Legion stands for. And we are doing that. We are working really hard to make sure our veterans, all past, present, and our future, are taken care of. And we need that help from you to help join our organization, find some people. As he stated, the theme this year for membership is be a superhero, sign up 3 American heroes. We know as the American Legion numbers are starting to fall a little bit. We have 20 million eligible veterans out there. 20 million. So I put a call to action out there for the sons to sign up 3 veterans this year. If you put the numbers together, if we can get in the next 2 years, 3 years, at least 1 million of those veterans, our numbers will grow not only for the American Legion, but for the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion. For you see, they have kids, and that's how we become members, because we honor the veterans, and like with the ladies, they have juniors. So if we can get that 1 to 2 million back into the family, the sons will go over 1 million, the auxiliary will go well over 1 million, and we'll be back on our path to making sure our veterans are taken care of. So I'm gonna ask your help to please find at least 3, be a superhero. We got Wonder Women out there, we can get them, and a few other ones. Let's sign them up, let's get this organization back on track and moving forward. One of the other ones, like they stated, was the American Legion Child Welfare Foundation program. And you will look good bald tonight. One of the things I did with Commander Joe is he was talking about the numbers and he wants to hit $76,000. And I said, well, if you can hit 60,000 by the time I come in, I'll join your commander's group and pledge $1,000. So you guys, you better hit it to get the 1,000. Gonna hit it, Joe? Of course. And he's been after that check for months, I tell you. I just haven't signed it. That's the best part. One of the other things we're doing through the Child Welfare Foundation is, again, my theme for that is raise $1 million American Legion family. Think about that. We normally raise about $750,000 on average. So we're going for the 1 million family-wide. And when we do that, I'm gonna look like Joe. Here, who knows, does anybody here know Dennis Bolin? Yeah, he loves his hair. And I am not telling you how much, I mean, he really loves his hair. He agreed to go bald. And we're trying to get his mustache, so that's another thing we're working on. But he has agreed to go bald with us. And then I said, okay, if you're going, my vice commander's going. I never offered my hair, but they offered my hair. So it's gonna be a very shiny Reno convention with Indiana boys bald, national guys bald, but you know, they say women like bald men. We're going on there, we're gonna take care of it. One of the things we did with that idea is we created a brand new limited edition, a cut above the rest pin. $100 donation, only 500 made. So I have some here with me. The envelopes, you get the credit. It'll go towards making sure Joe hits his goal. So, and it also makes sure we hit that $1 million goal. So we're gonna need your help on that. Come see me. You know, like I say, you get the credit. The auxiliary get the credit, the Sons and or Legion. Doesn't matter, we're just gonna get Joe bald, period. And with that being said, I wanna say thank you again for having me up here. Help us sign up some Legionnaires, Sons, and auxiliary, because we gotta grow this organization. Because with some of the current events going on the past couple of days, I think we're gonna need a little more help here in the future. So we're gonna have to make sure our men and women are taken care of. We're probably gonna be going overseas. So that's gonna take some more dedication of our time and energy. So with that being said, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it. I get to see the Indiana family instead of just at the NEC. And that, to me, that's a huge honor because I like seeing the smiling faces and the passion of everybody here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. The hospitality's been fantastic. I could go on, but they said you only have 2 hours, and I said, okay, I'll just cut it down to 5-10 minutes. So we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone, for everything you do. Appreciate it, and have a great day and a good convention.
Thank you, National Commander friends, for taking the time out of your busy schedule for our session. Commander Smith thanks you and also the SAL team. You all continue to contribute greatly to the work of the Legion that has been happening across this state. We can't thank you enough. With us today are many bright Hoosier students we need to recognize, so I'm pleased to call our Children and Youth Commission Chairman, Alan Conley, to introduce the 2017 awardees and the committee chairpersons for the presentation. Alan?
All right. Thank you, Commander. I think you're supposed to move yourself down the lower stage. As this year's Children and Youth Commission Chairman, I am pleased with the growth and participation in our programs and the quality of our winners. I want to congratulate all the members of our team who worked so hard this year to promote these winners from among our state schools. And it is indeed a pleasure to be here today to honor these students for their achievements. At this time, I would like to call on the Americanism and Government Committee Chairman, Reese Morgan, to join the Commander on the lower stage to present the Americanism and Government Test Awards to participants for this year's Americanism and Government Test Program. Each of our winners will receive a scholarship and a plaque of appreciation from the department. These young men and women have distinguished themselves by finishing at the top compared to their peers on this year's test. As I call their names, I would like our young guests to join Commander May and Chairman Morgan on the lower stage to receive their scholarships, plaques, and have their photos taken. Please welcome the Americanism and Government winners for 2016-2017. Present with us this morning in our junior testing class, which are the 7th and 8th graders who will receive a $500 scholarship, are 7th grader Gentry Gottfried from St. John the Baptist Catholic School, sponsored by Post 44 in the 8th District.
I would like to thank the American Legion very much for giving me this award. It is a great honor, and I would like to thank all veterans who serve our country. We would not be a free country if it was not for you, so thank you very much for all that you do for us.
Next is 7th grader Samuel Langford from Kessling Middle School, sponsored by Post 83 in the 3rd District.
When I told Sam that he was the state winner, he was pretty excited, and he did thank me for serving our country, and I said, you know, I'm not the only one. There's 3% of Americans have served their country, and he's very appreciative of that fact. So he's pretty excited. They have spring break, and that's why he's not here today. He'll be excited when he sees this.
Next is 8th grader Shannon McCall from Thomas Jefferson High School, sponsored by Post 94 in the 2nd District.
I would like to thank all of the American Legion and the veterans for their service in preserving our liberty, and I would especially like to thank the American Legion for sponsoring the test to give young people a chance to shine.
8th grader Jonathan Hines from Klondike Middle School, sponsored by Post 38 in the 2nd District.
I'd like to thank the American Legion for this wonderful opportunity and for all of your service. Thank you.
That's the end of the junior. Present with us today in our senior testing class, which are grades 10 through 12, who will receive a $1,000 scholarship, are 10th graders Oliva Lego from Mitchell High School, sponsored by Post 250 in the 9th District, and 10th grader Benjamin Rutherford from Griffith High School, sponsored by Post 66 in the 1st District.
I would like to thank the American Legion and, of course, all the veterans who serve our community and country every day.
It's an honor to be here, and I'm glad all the hard work and studying paid off.
All right, our 11th grade winners are Haley Higgins from Riverton Park High School, sponsored by Post 290 in the 6th District, and Tyler Metheny from Riverton Park High School, sponsored by Post 290 in the 6th District.
I would like to thank the American Legion for the chance to take this test and thank them for our liberty that we have as a country.
Okay, our 12th grade winners are Autumn Briggs from Liberty Academy, sponsored by Post 369 in the 1st District, and Banjit Singh from Castle High School, sponsored by Post 44 in the 8th District.
I would like to thank the American Legion for this great honor and for all that you've done for our country. And I would like to thank my family and friends and anyone who supported me. This is for you guys too. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the American Legion for this award and for the veterans serving our country. Or that used to serve our country.
Okay, that's 10 of our finest students here in Indiana, so let's please give them another round of applause. Thank you, Chairman Morgan, for your help, and thank you and all the members of the A&G committee for what you do for our youth. I'd now like to call on our Flag Education and Etiquette Committee Chairman, Lawrence Teal, to join the commander on the lower stage. The next two students are the 4th grade flag essay contest winners. Every year from across the state, students get a better understanding of our nation's flag, thanks to our wonderful volunteers who visit schools and work with the teachers and administrators to promote this program. Each of these students will receive a $1,000 scholarship award, and we will have them come up to read their essay and receive their award. The first student I will introduce is Jada Kuhn, who attends Bright Elementary School, sponsored by Post 464 from the 9th District.
When I see the flag, I will think of its long history. First, 13 stars and 13 stripes, then 15 stars and 13 stripes. Finally, it became 50 stars and 13 stripes and stayed that way. I will also think about why the Star-Spangled Banner was written. It was written in 1812 in a war by Francis Scott Key because he was shocked how the flag was still standing after all the explosions the night before. One last thing I will think of is why we have our flag and what it stands for. It stands for our freedom, justice, and liberty. Our flag is a very important thing to our country, and that's why we protect it and respect it. Now that I have learned about our flag, these were the few things that I will think of next time I see it.
Our next student is Drew Pancake from St. Paul Lutheran School, sponsored by Post 82 in the 4th District.
I love our country's flag. When I see our country's flag, I think about the freedom our flag gives us. The flag gives us the freedom of worship, of speech, to vote, of movement, and of assembly. When I look at the flag, I think of the people who serve or served for our country's freedom. I also think about all of the generals that led in the army. When I look at the flag, I think of the one nation, under God, indivisible, with mercy and grace for all. I also think about when our country started out with 13 colonies. When I look at the flag, I think of World War I and II, the War of 1812, the Revolutionary War, the Star Spangled Banner, and the Pledge of Allegiance. I also think of all the holidays that are meaningful to all of the people who fight or fought for our country's freedom. That is what I think of when I look at our country's flag.
Congratulations, and Jada and Drew, on your great essays. And thank you, Chairman Teal, for all you and your committee's hard work. The next program features some of the best young shooters in the state who compete at the highest levels of marksmanship. Would Ida Mae Jewell please come join the commander on the lower stage? This was the first year for the Ida Mae Jewell Junior Shooting Sports Scholarship Award to be given, and we couldn't be more proud. Although our young champion, Isaiah Cole, could not be here today, he is training for his next level of competitions. But we would like to call on his team coach, Andrew Whirling, to accept the award on his behalf.
Boy, talk about two tough people to follow. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Whirling. I am standing in for Isaiah Cole today. We represent Post 43 out of Decatur, Indiana in Adams County, as well as the Belmont High School Rifle Team. Isaiah is unable to attend today because he is currently competing in the Junior Olympics out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He is the first shooter since 1961 to qualify for the Junior Olympics from our club. So, pretty big deal. It's definitely my privilege to be here for him today. He's one of the hardest working young men that I have ever had the privilege to work with. And in 11 years of coaching, his drive to succeed and to be the best is unmatched in a lot of young people today. His drive to practice and persevere is what's led him to not only qualify for the Junior Olympics, but also to win the state American Legion match. Isaiah and I would like to thank everybody that works hard to put on the state match, especially Mr. Butch Miller and Miss Ida Jewell. American Legion Shooting Sports would not be what it is without their hard work and their dedication. I remember years ago when I was in it myself, one year there was about 24 shooters. This year there was 72. 72. Thank you very much for all your support for youth shooting sports in Indiana. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you very much. Give your best to Isaiah. And thank you as well, Ida Mae, for your dedication and commitment. We're so glad to see this scholarship award named in her honor. Our oratorical competition took place at the national headquarters earlier last month, and although our winner and runners-up could not be here with us today, we wanted to take a moment to recognize them for their achievement and their awards, which will be presented by their zone leaders at a later date. We had a great turnout this year. These students are so impressive, and it's always hard for our judges to choose a winner from such great speakers. The runners-up are Gabby Ngoglia, the Zone 1 winner and Munster High School student, and she was sponsored by Post 232 in the 1st District. Alexander King, the Zone 2 champion and Churubusco High School student, was sponsored by Post 98 in the 4th District. Faith Morrell, the Zone 3 champ and homeschooled student, was sponsored by 145 in the 6th District. And the winner of the 2016 Department of Indiana Oratorical Contest was Suyash Upal, the Zone 4 champ and Jeffersonville High School student, who was sponsored by Post 35 in the 8th District. Let's give a big hand to those participating volunteers to make our contest. Thank you for all your participation and efforts on behalf of the whole Children and Youth Commission. Congratulations to everyone on your awards, and I wish you all great success in your future. Commander, I'll turn.
Thank you, Commissioner Conley. Please let all the members of the Children and Youth Commission who couldn't be here today know how much we appreciate their hard work and endeavors. And each of the recipients today, congratulations, well done. If you divert your attention to the lower stage, we're getting ready to do the department's first here. We want to honor our volunteers out there truly making a difference in their communities. We want to recognize a post that truly embodies our Hoosier Legion matron, We Change Lives. I'd like to call Northern Vice Commander Nikoloff to the lecture to read the script. Nick, please.
Recently, Martinsville Post 230 Legion family helped raise more than $6,000 and coordinated a vehicle donated by the Andy Moore car dealership to the family of Josie Enoch, a 12-year-old girl suffering from severe burns over her body. The money in the vehicle will help the family pay for her ongoing medical care and transportation back and forth from their residence in Blooming, Indiana to Riley Hospital in Annapolis. We have some photos of the presentation. Additionally, Post 230 raised more than $10,000 at their All About Ava fundraiser for the family of young Ava Bowen, who's been battling cancer since October of 2015. These two events and many other things that Post 230 family does for Martinsville community is why the Department Commander, James B. May, is presenting them the first ever We Change Lives Award. The citation reads, "In recognition of your outstanding service to the community of Martinsville and the surrounding southern Indiana region, the spirit, attitude, and utmost dedication of your American Legion family membership embodies the true character of our organization and reflects great credit upon Martinsville Post 230, the 7th District, and the American Legion Department of Indiana. If anyone from Post 230 would like to say anything, here's your chance."
Post 230, Martinsville has been very fortunate to be able to help some unfortunate people. It was a joint effort by all the groups, the Riders, the Legion, and the Auxiliary. And I'm proud to say that in addition to these two people that were mentioned, we also helped two other organizations, a food bank and the Humane Society. We raised about $700 for the Humane Society and collected over 600 pounds of dog and cat food for them. We were able to help replenish the food pantry that had been robbed and provide the food for those in need. And we thank you very much for this award.
Good morning. I've been told to keep it brief, so the Riders actually helped with the burn victim, Josie Enochs, but also what we did was we contacted some other posts, and I'd like to recognize Post 103 in Mooresville and Post 64 in Indianapolis. They actually helped and donated. So thank you very much.
Thank you, folks 230, and keep up the great work in your community. And everyone, if you haven't applied for the Department Community Service Award, please send in your community service scrapbooks to the department with your entry form by May 31st and get your community activities reviewed and judged by the commission. And now please welcome the Department Membership Chairman, Herb Hoffman, to the platform for his membership report. Herb.
Good morning, Legion family. Good morning. We're running short on time. It's going to be real quick. We've got 5 districts within 2% of each other. This is going to be a real race this year. Thank you, Legionnaires, for your work on this. I'll have better numbers this afternoon when I chair the membership committee. So please, any of you available, come in for that. But at this point in time, 5 districts within 2% of each other. Thank you very much, Legionnaires.
Thank you, Herb, for your hard work you have put in this year and your travels around the state. You most certainly have had a advantaged position that requires a lot of traveling and time away from your family and home. We want to thank your family for loaning you to the organization this year. You've done an amazing job. Thank you again. At this time, I'd like to call Department Adjutant Hugh Dagley back to the lecture for a few announcements. It'll be short now. If you guys go along with him, it's short.
I know that this room didn't half empty because they were not waiting for me, but that may be the case. I don't have any real announcements. One, the HALPA meeting, Hoosier American Legion Press Association meeting, has been rescheduled for 2:30. If you're planning to attend the HALPA meeting, it's at 2:30. All righty. At this time, the Commander May is going to accept any special presentations that any of you have and would like to make to him. In order to do that, as you know the drill, please come to the lower stage, go to the center mic, please announce yourself, your organization, be it Post District, Auxiliary Unit, SAL Squadron, and your name and the amount and purpose. I will try to keep a tally as we go forward, and before we adjourn, give you a total. Huh? He's got it. Don't you worry. Everything's okay.
Come on up. Let's get it.
We are
Commander, this year the 3rd District has undertaken a little fundraising program to help you with your IVETS program. My wife Marilyn and I have entered the Indianapolis 500 mini marathon. That's 13.1 miles. We're walking, not running. Those days are gone forever. But I have so far collected donations, a $10 donation from John Mader from the Squadron 210, and I have $131 from American Legion Post 357 Riders and American Legion Post 295. So there's the cash. I also have pledges in excess of $1,300 that will be awarded at the Department Convention. If anyone would like to enter pledge, see me or go to the 3rd District Hospitality Suite. We'll have pledge forms there. Let's raise a bunch of money for the Commander's Project. It's a great project.
Commander, on behalf of Post 351 in Elberfeld and the 8th District, here's a $1,200 check for Riley's.
On behalf of the Sons of the American Legion on the 4th District, there's a check for $500 for IVETS.
Commander, on behalf of Post 200 in Boonville, there's $200 for Riley's. And we have $500 for the National TFA program. And as you know, you were at the auction this year.
Yes, sir.
We have some checks, one for you, for your project, for $2,500. One for the detachment commander for a haircut for $2,500. And one for our auxiliary president, Peggy, for $2,500. This is our 22nd year of that auction started by Commander Counts.
It was a very good event.
okay. Well, wait a minute. Let me get this done.
It's been a day one time. It's a couple days, but it's the best 2 days you've spent with comradeship of anywhere.
Commander, as IVH chairman for the 1st District, I have a check for $600 from Post 80 up at north there in Whiting for IVH.
As department membership chair, I'm sorry, whoa, I don't want that. No, that's not a premonition or anything. As Department Children and Youth Chairman, for the past 3 years, we've tried to raise money for Riley Hospital from fall to spring, and it's picking up a little bit. I'd hope to encourage everybody to go back to your posts, and for next year, we ran a bucket campaign at our post, and we were able to raise $500. I'd like to present this for Riley's.
Commander, on behalf of Post 52, Attica, the 6th District, we have a check for $200 for the IVETS.
On behalf of Post 72 in Crawfordsville, we would like to present you a check for $1,000 for IVETS.
Commander, in February, Post 178, Garrett, Indiana, had a chili cook-off. We raised $100 for the Comfort Warrior program.
Commander, we have a check here for $5,000. Post 182, the American Legion family has promised $5,000 next year and $5,000 year after from the IVETS program. We made a commitment for $15,000. Here's the first installment.
Mr. Commander, Rich Brown, Post Adjutant, Juan Sanchez, Post Service Officer, on behalf of John H. Holliday Jr., Post 186, $100 for your project IVETS.
Commander Noah Banion, Post 59, Rising Sun, Indiana, presents $250 to IVETS.
Thank you.
From Greenwood, Post 252, on behalf of the Post, we'd like to donate $100 to the IVETS program.
On behalf of the 7th District, I have a check in the amount of $500 for the Indiana Veterans Home and $350 for your program, the IVETS, Commander.
On behalf of the 1st District, we have a $300 check for Indiana Veterans Home. American Legion Post 357 for IVETS, $388.50.
On behalf of Post 438, the only all-female post in the department, I present a check for IVETS for $500.
On behalf of Robert Kennington, Post 34 here in Annapolis, we have a check for $1,000 for IVET.
Commander, on behalf of American Legion Post 100, we have a check for Child's Education Welfare Fund for $183.67.
Commander, on behalf of Post 500 Speedway, Indiana, we had we did this a couple of years ago. We had a senior prom, a real senior prom. And we made a little fun out of it, so we raised $500 for IVETS.
Good morning, Commander. On behalf of the 7th District, SAL, $100 donation for the Homeless Veterans Program, $100 donation for the Hoosier Boy State Program, $100 donation for your IVETS project. Commander Couts, also for Operation Comfort Warrior from Linton Squadron 22, $100. From Martinsville Squadron 230, $500. And another check to the American Legion National Emergency Fund from Martinsville Squadron 230 for $250.
On behalf of Squadron 64, we have over $5,000 in money and supplies for the Indiana's home. Indiana Veterans Home.
Who's this from?
Commander Kenny Cooper from Kenneth N. Dowden, Wayne Post 64. We'd like to donate $5,000 for the InVet program.
Commander Danny Rice from Kenneth N. Dowden, Wayne Post 64.
As you know, we've already given you checks last Sunday. So got another small one here today, which brings our grand total for Operation Comfort Warriors to $54,500.
Well, I'll tell you, I want to say just a little bit about Post 64. Some of you were there last Sunday. This post raises all this money to have ham and beans and cornbread and fried potatoes. Of course, they got plenty of tip boards and everything else to raise this money. But you can't say thank you to a post that does more for Operation Comfort Warrior than Kenny Wayne Dowden Post 64. And I want to thank them. This is the 5th year. I'm saying they're probably approaching $250,000 in 5 years. So thank you, Post 64. And not just the post. I'm going to read off. Last weekend they gave me $31,500, but post was $25,000. Sons of the American Legion $5,000. The Riders $1,000, and the Auxiliary $500. So that was part of that $55,000. So thank you, Post 64.
From Auxiliary Unit 170 in Chesterton in the 2nd District, $150 for Operation Comfort Warriors.
And I'm just going to read a couple more donations that's been handed to me down here because they wouldn't like to take so much time, but I think anybody that donates money needs some recognition. They gave to me from Linda and Jerry Jordan $100, Ed and Vandella Harris $100, and always this Raymond O from Rolla, Illinois, or Rolla, Missouri. Every month he sends $25, takes it to Mount Vernon Post 5, and then they bring it to me. The other ones that have donated today, Richard and Andrea Wolke, $100, Larry Lowry, $100, and I want to thank everybody for all the donations today. Thank you very much.
I don't have an accurate total, but I will have an accurate total for you later on tonight at the party. But it looks like we just received for our activities $83,130. That ain't shabby. That ain't shabby. That's it, Mr. Commander. I think John, is John still in the room? Yes, sir. What was that announcement you wanted to change? Oh, the Youth Cadet Law Enforcement Academy or Law Enforcement Program will meet at 1:30 now, is that correct? 1 p.m. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Hugh. And thank all the Ewans out there for your donations. If it wasn't for you, for your hard work, raising it and that, we could never keep these programs going. So I want to thank you. Okay. Is there any other unfinished business anyone would like to bring before this session? Well then, I want to thank each and every one for attending this joint session, staying. I know a few did, we ran over, but I appreciate it. I really appreciate at the end of it, that $83,000 plus what went to Comfort Warrior. That's what keeps us going here. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Wild Wild West theme party tonight in Liberty Hall. The doors open at 7:30. The party begins at 8, and somewhere in between, we're going to have 5 bald heads, I'm hoping. Now please stand as I call upon the Northern Vice Commanders, Nick Nikoloff and Pete Van den Willen, to retire the POW MIA flags. Commanders. Thank you, guys. Please remain standing while Auxiliary Department Chaplain Jeannie Mounty delivers the benediction.
Dear Father in heaven, we give thanks that we have again had the opportunity to come together. We are grateful for this time of work and fellowship. We pray that we have made decisions for the betterment of those we serve. As we prepare to leave and continue our separate meetings, we pray once again for those who serve our country, that they may return to their loved ones safely. Now, Lord, keep us in your grace and be with us until we meet again. Amen.
With our colors being in place, hand salute. 2. I now declare this meeting adjourned for the purpose of regular scheduled meetings.